Wait a minute. Who's this guy? I was clickbaited here. I see Michael Saylor. I see Frank. What's going on? What's going on? I was clickbaited here. Okay. This video is live. We're doing this live right now. But I just got done watching that debate between Michael Saylor and Frank. I don't want to mispronounce his last name. I'm going to say Giustra. Frank Giustra. Probably the best debate I've seen on the subject of gold versus Bitcoin. I have these silver bars out here to make a point that was missed out on in that debate. And I wanted to talk about some of my kind of summary of the debate and some points that I wish were brought up in the debate. Overall, if you have, I think it was almost 2 hours of the debate, if you have the time, and these two gentlemen, by the way, we got two billionaires. We got two guys that are in control of a lot of money. Their time is very valuable. You got Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy. You have Frank, he's a billionaire that's in the mining sector, does all kinds of different things in the mining sector, and a gold financier. So overall, probably one of the best two people you could get on this subject. The debate was totally worthwhile, but I wanted to go over some points that was missed on that debate. Before I get into this video, I have to say I'm not a financial advisor in any way, shape, or form, so nothing I say in this video is to be taken as financial advice. With that being said, both of these individuals came up with great points. I think that, in my personal opinion, and I come from the precious metals industry, I think Michael Saylor won this debate. And I want to go over some details on why I think that. The first thing was when Frank was talking about, he was talking about the aspect that central banks are buying the gold and they're not buying Bitcoin. Okay, the problem that becomes in my mind is the visionary aspect of it. If you ever want sound money to be coming back, you can't make your bet on the gamble of sound money coming back that the central banks are going to somehow go back to a gold standard. That's really the bullish scenario for gold, is going back to a gold standard. There's a reason why I'm much more bullish on silver. It's because it's an industrial metal. Gold is a monetary metal. It can be used in industry, but it's not. It's used in jewelry and it's used as money. The central banks already have it. And the argument is, they're going to continue to accumulate gold. Well, I kind of want the thing that the central banks don't have. Am I crazy to say that? I want the thing that the central banks don't have yet. They have gold, and a lot of it, quite a bit of it, They stole it in 1971. They stole quite a bit. It wasn't just the citizens, it was also the entire world that used the dollar as the reserve currency that got their gold stolen, for lack of a better word. Just my opinion, by the way. Everything I say on this live stream could be completely wrong, could be infactual, could be could be fictional, the things that I'm saying here. It's just for education, entertainment purposes only. Disclaimer. But I like the idea that silver is a smaller market cap. It's more rare above ground. These are two actual COMEX bars from 1951. They're collectible ingots because they actually, if you go to my Instagram, at Rob Sultan on Instagram, I have a picture. If you scroll down a bit, I have pictures of these exact two bars. They're actually a sequential pair that were made on the line side by side. The serials are sequential to each other. So they were made side by side on the line in 1951, if you can believe it, from the New York Assay Office, back when somebody could redeem silver certs for their COMEX bars. So these are two pieces in my collection that I'm very proud of, and they're pure silver. This is a little gold bar, and you would think to yourself, and this is a point that I wish, because Stansberry research is, I believe Daniela used to work for Kitco, and then she created Stansberry research. Being from Kitco, you did a fantastic debate, by the way. Fantastic debate. It was really smooth. Both sides got to speak. They stopped when they were supposed to stop. They didn't cut off each other once. Brilliant debate that Daniela put on over there. But I wish you brought up silver. I wish you brought up silver. Silver wasn't brought up for some weird reason. And I wanted them to talk about industrial metals. They were only talking about Bitcoin versus gold. And, you know, Frank is from the mining industry. And so what I want to talk about and what I think they missed to talk about, and I think that this is something, I think silver, the reason I love silver so much, I mean, and I think gold will go up. I don't think gold is going to go down. I think it's going to go up over time. And I think Bitcoin is just, you know, MJ to Scottie Pippen, which that's what I genuinely think between the two. But the reason I like silver so much more is because silver is actually used in industrial purposes. And you'd see this little gold 10-ounce bar here, and you would think, oh, this is, you know, a lot more rare than the silver. Maybe below ground, but above ground, the silver is far more rare than the gold. There's people that talk about multiples of, you know, being 5 times more rare, 8 times more rare above ground silver. So the gold is already held in the central bank vaults. They already have it. So the powers that be have the gold, and they're saying that they're accumulating more of it. Well, silver is needed in the electronics that actually make Bitcoin. So this is something, rather than I want to be a person in the space, in the community, that helps bridge the gap between the tangible investment world and the cryptocurrency world. I want to be somebody that helps bridge that gap because I think that they are on the same team. And I'm kind of sick of the like animosity towards each other. You know, I want to see more people being in both. That's my personal opinion. You know, the aspect of gold that is not utilized is its industrial cases. There is no use of it. It's just stored as money, and it's been sitting in vaults for a very long time. Why is silver more rare than gold? Because it's actually used. It's in landfills. It gets thrown away after it gets put in our electronics, and then it gets recycled. There's so much demand for the silver, and it's only getting more and more and more as we move towards this electric age. And now, as we're going to be producing a ton of solar panels, if Elon Musk says the best way for renewable energy isn't windmills, it isn't, you know, the water plants, it is solar panels to him. That's what he's gone on the record saying multiple times. If we're going to go solar panels, and solar panels are truly the best place to be getting renewable energy, well, they use a lot of silver in those solar panels. If Bitcoin mining operations use the silver in its computing components, now the Bitcoin mining operations, they need a lot of solar panels. If we need to move towards this renewable energy phase of, you know, humanity, you're going to need a lot of silver for that. You're not going to need a lot of gold. You're going to need a lot of silver. And it's more rare above ground than the gold. So why were these two individuals not talking about that? Why? And some people in the live stream right now are saying copper. I agree. Why were these two individuals that are both, you know, geniuses in their own right, why were they not talking about industrial metals? Why is it always gold versus Bitcoin, gold versus Bitcoin, gold versus Bitcoin? If you are, the best way to phrase it is, if you are all in on Bitcoin, it's foolish, but it's equally foolish to have none. That's what I genuinely feel on it. And I think that Frank hit the nail on the head with that, because Michael Saylor is a diehard maximalist. You know, he's a super maximalist. And he says go all in on Bitcoin, where myself, I was speculative in the beginning. I got in early, and then my Bitcoin position jumped so much that it became a larger position in my decentralized portfolio, where it was originally just an insurance play. Then I started researching more and more and more about it, coming from the precious metals industry, because, you know, obviously I'm extremely skeptical of Bitcoin in the beginning because I come from precious metals. I've owned this bar right here for like, I want to say 3 years. I've owned these for quite a long time, these two bars that are in my collection. As this time has rolled on, I think that it's foolish to go all in on Bitcoin, but I think our options on where to store our fiat currency, which I love. Michael Saylor's analogy on the ice cube, that's not my analogy. That's Michael Saylor's, by the way. I've used it quite a bit now. I used to say it's a hot potato, like fiat currency is a hot potato that'll inevitably burn, but his analogy of an ice cube that will inevitably melt into water it's on point. I'm a big fan of Michael Saylor's, but one thing that Frank said that was correct was going all in on Bitcoin is a little too risky. And he did point that out, and he made a good point about that. Where Frank got it wrong is where he said that there is more crime in Bitcoin. No, there is more crime in fiat currency. It's the actual fiat currency itself, in my personal opinion, is a crime on humanity. That's just my personal opinion, not to be taken as fact. Disclaimer. But there is a lot more crime in the dollar than there is in Bitcoin on a percentage, like factual percentage basis. So that's what Yellen said, and she was wrong about that. And that's what Frank said, and he's wrong about that as well. If institutions are piling into it, they've done their research. It is not a place where crime is. And also it's on a blockchain. So it's not really the best place. You know where the good place is to commit crimes? Cash. Isn't that something? That's where the most of it is in the fiat cash. These little pieces of paper back to nothing, printed on cotton, little pieces of paper. That's where the real crime is. So he's wrong about that. He doesn't make any sense when he brings that up, and Michael Saylor wins on that. The other thing Michael Saylor wins on is this. I actually pulled up this one part of the video where Michael Saylor, hey, somebody just gave me, he says, "What's up, everybody? What's up, man?" I appreciate that. That's crazy. He gave me $10 and he says, "What's up, everybody? Plumber Stacker." Thank you for being here, Plumber Stacker. It means a lot to me. The problem that happens with gold is a custodian. It's so simple. Like Peter Schiff brings up this as well, and Frank brings this up as well. It's like, could gold be back to a blockchain and then you have a gold-based blockchain? No. That's been the problem since forever. That's why Bitcoin came to existence. They always miss this point, and it blows my mind. Why do I have these physical silver bars here? Is because I don't trust the company to hold my bars. I don't want to put these in a depository. I like these specific ones. These specific COMEX bars from 1951, I want these ones. And I'm not going to send these ones to some depository or Perth Mint or somebody like that so they can do what they want with my silver. That has been the problem since day one. We trust a custodian. The custodian runs off with the asset. It's happened time and time again. So there's one part of the video from their debate that I thought Michael Saylor just nailed it. And I'm like, he's speaking this off the top of his head, just laying out dates and timelines. It's like, this was epic here. Hang on.
Sacked Gaul to take their gold. Kublai Khan seized the gold. Pizarro seized gold from the Incas. Cortez seized gold from the Aztecs. Charles I seized the gold from all the British nobles. The Prussians seized gold from the French in 1871. In World War I, everybody seized the gold. Lenin seized gold from the church in 1922. Roosevelt seized everybody's gold in 1933. Stalin seized the gold of the Spaniards in 36. Churchill took everybody's gold in 1940.
Off the top of his head. Off the top of his head.
Woods, the United States, seized the world's gold and then, took it hostage. And then Nixon killed all the hostages in 1971.
Like, that was the hardest line of the entire debate. That was the hardest one. That was like, I had to play that for you guys here because that was awesome. And off the top of his head too, completely off the top of his head. It was like, wow, pretty impressive, man. And it's so true. It's so true. Every time you trust a custodian, the custodian steals it, plays some games, runs off with the asset. It's like it's time and time again. Why do we not have our notes back to this metal? Because they ran off with the metal and created a bunch of notes. They want to be able to print them out of thin air. That's why. It's not back to anything because it's too hard to do that. Then there would be, if it was really back to the gold, there'd be checks and balances. And they don't like checks and balances over there. So that's the thing. It's like they don't even know how to balance a checkbook. So how do you think they want checks and balances? All puns intended right there. They don't want checks and balances. They don't even know how to balance a checkbook. That's not in their vocabulary. It's not in their abilities over there at the Fed. They don't know how to do that type of thing. It's too complex, far too complex to do that. And so why does Bitcoin exist is because we need something that balances the checkbooks. It's that simple. It's like there needs to be checks and balances, and there needs to be no possible way for that to change. And so what I see between these two individuals, I see two guys that are both geniuses. I see one that's from the mining sector and very kind of skeptical of crypto, but kind of interested in looking at it from the sidelines, maybe wishes he got in a little bit earlier on Bitcoin. This is what I'm talking about, Frank. And Michael Saylor, I see like a Steve Jobs kind of guy in Michael Saylor. I see him as more of a visionary and going, well, if you know, gold was perfect, there'd be a finite amount of it. If gold was perfect in every way, shape, or form, we would know there is 21 million ounces of gold on the planet. And this much of it has been mined. This country holds exactly this much gold. You know, people say, oh, China has this much gold. Nobody knows how much they have. We don't even know how much we have. No, we don't even know how many dollars we have. Nobody can tell me, and not even Janet Yellen or Poof Powell himself. They can't tell me how many dollars are out there to the penny. None of them. Nobody knows. But you know exactly how many Bitcoin are out there. You know exactly how many that can be mined. You know every single, you can see all of the ledgers. You can see all of the wallets. It's brilliant. And you can move it all in digital space. It's like, if gold was perfect, it would have the attributes that Bitcoin has. So if gold skyrockets in price, which I think it will probably go to 3,000-4,000 in the near future, I really do think gold will continue to go up, only because, you know, it's needed. I don't want to say it's needed. I just want to say it's a limited asset. It's a limited amount of this item on the planet, and it's a desired item. There is an unlimited amount of fiat currency that just keeps being printed and printed and printed. And so as soon as we realize just how much the currency has been diluted, things like gold are going to go up in value. I don't think it'll be the same ROI as silver. My whole argument, and the reason I brought out my two COMEX bars here, is because I wanted to say, if I have to choose between, the thing is, it's like, okay, am I going to get in precious metals? Am I going to hedge my money in precious metals? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Then the next question is, which precious metal am I going to get into? Me personally, if I have to choose between silver and gold, one or the other, I would like to have a little bit of both, obviously a lot more silver. But if I had to choose between silver and gold, I wouldn't even think more than a millisecond before I just said silver. It wouldn't, 100 times out of 100 times, I would say silver. I wouldn't even think twice about it. Why? Because silver's market cap is about 1.2 to 1.4 trillion. It's ridiculously undervalued. It's used in industry way, way more than gold has ever been. So the possible ROI on silver, I see silver getting back to all-time highs of well over 48 in the very near future. I don't see gold going to 4,000 in that same timeline. So for me, it's an ROI perspective. It's also, you know, it's in the Constitution. They literally say silver and gold coinage. No state shall make money out of anything but silver and gold coinage. Silver is a monetary metal. So you have it as a monetary metal, but it also is needed by industry. Not only is it needed by industry, but specifically the Bitcoin sector, the tech sector, and the solar panels, the renewable energy sector. So it's needed in the energy sector and the tech sector. Those are the two biggest sectors in the entire planet, by the way. And now that automobiles are going electric, that's the other multi-trillion-dollar industry. So every multi-trillion-dollar industry, silver is needed in. It's like it's not rocket science on why silver is the better choice between the two. And I wish they had brought that up in the debate. And I would love, you know, this is an open invitation. I don't know if I'm a very small YouTube channel, but if Michael Saylor ever wanted to talk about this, it would be an honor to be able to talk about this because it really bridges the gap. I think it's less about saying mine's better than yours and more about how do we bridge this gap between sound money principles. Because everybody from the precious metals industry and everybody from the Bitcoin space, they both believe in sound money. Myself and I believe all of my audience here, we are in the middle. You know, it's like it would be foolish to not have anything physical, anything tangible that you can touch in this day and age. It would be foolish. So if our options are limited, why not have silver as the tangible and Bitcoin as the digital? And then the third would be building our own businesses so that we can get cash flow coming in. You know, it's like that's where you want to be. And now I'm starting to look at Ethereum. I'm starting to look at these other cryptocurrencies. I mean, mainly Ethereum, and it's starting to get me a little interested. Like I kind of want to dabble with Ethereum. The main thing I'm looking for is something to come out that is adopting Ethereum. It just seems too perfect to have that mixture of silver and Bitcoin. It's such it's a match made in heaven. It's a match made in heaven. And if Michael Saylor says, yeah, actually, I think Bitcoin will have a better performance than silver. I think it's a lot more liquid and it's easier to move it, the Bitcoin. But if I do have to get a tangible, I think I could make that argument to Michael Saylor. I think if this was me and Michael Saylor, I wouldn't really debate Michael Saylor because I agree with him on everything. But the only thing I disagree on with Michael Saylor is having a percentage of your portfolio allocated to, tangible assets, be that collectibles, be that silver, be that my platinum and palladium has been performing, mainly my palladium. My palladium, I have a little 10-ounce palladium bar in my collection, and that thing is my best employee. Just every day, it just shows up and makes $500. It's just a hard worker, I'll tell you. Sometimes it has like a $900 day, that little 10-ounce palladium bar. I've been researching a bit more about palladium, and it's a very interesting metal. But that's what I wanted them to talk about in this debate was why did they not talk about industrial metals? Why did they not talk about that? It would have been such a great thing to talk about. And I believe Frank is very well informed on industrial metals as well. So I'm like, Daniela, you did such a great job in this interview. Why did you not bring up silver and platinum and palladium? Why did you not bring up rhodium? Rhodium is like the Bitcoin in the precious metals space. Why didn't you talk about the industrial metals? I would have loved to hear something about that from Frank because Frank knows a lot about industrial metals. It's a perfect bridge in this heated debate between, precious metals and cryptocurrency. The real answer is why not both? And why not look at the both of them like it's MJ and Scottie Pippen? Bitcoin's running, towards the hoop. Scottie Pippen throws him the layup and MJ slams the dunk. Why can't it be like that? Why can't it be like that? Because at the end of the day, I don't really believe that gold will be able to be the biggest flaw with gold, and this is me coming from the precious metal space. I love gold. There's a 10-ounce gold bar right here on my table. The problem with gold will always be the custodian aspect of it. And here's the other aspect of it. If we're restarting the race towards, holding sound money as citizens of the world, we lost the race already with gold. Not with silver, not with platinum, not with palladium. We haven't lost the race there yet. We have lost the race with gold because all you got to look up is Queen Gold Vault. Go to Google, look up Queen Gold Vault. You got the queen, walking through the gold vaults. Like just look at all my gold. Wow. It's beautiful. All my gold here. It's like you see that one video with the queen. She got a lot of gold over there in England. She got a lot. I don't have that. This is my little gold piece here. I mean, I don't have that kind of gold like she got. She got real gold. You just Google it. Hit the Google up and look up, Gold Vault, England. You'll see the queen walking around, and she got quite a bit. And so we also have quite a bit. The other governments have quite a bit. The central banks of the world have quite a bit of gold. And they don't really, if you can print money out of thin air, do whatever you want with it. And just to locate a little bit of it for the citizens and then do whatever you want with the other master or the other large percentage of it. Do you really want to back the money back to gold again and make you have checks and balances? And even if you do have checks and balances, just like we don't really know with SLV, it's like we don't know how much we want to see daily audits of COMEX. We want daily real audits. I want all of the silver bars tested in the SLV vaults. In JP Morgan's vaults, I want a test. I want an assay of every single bar and an audit every other day. Someone that their main job with how much money is allocated in the COMEX and in their vaults, they should have a custodian that is walking every day with a live stream and an assay or an XRF machine testing every bar on a live stream. If I had it my way. We don't have that. So you're trusting a custodian. Even PSLV and Eric Sprott, he seems like a very great guy. And it seems like if there is a choice between the two, it's obviously going to be PSLV. But still, I want to know exactly how much is there, and I want that weekly audit. I want to know every bar is legit. There was actually a recent thing where the gold bars weren't real in a central bank. There was a recent study on that. There was a few, fake gold bars in their vaults. And so it's like, well, that's a problem. You can't, with Bitcoin, you can't have, a tungsten-filled Bitcoin. That doesn't happen. You can't, there is no forgery there. You either have it or you don't. And so the brilliant aspect of Bitcoin, and this is what Michael Saylor continues to bring up, he considers it like a closed loop system in thermodynamics is the way he would phrase it. And that basically means that it's ultimately limited. And if you really want a perfect currency, if you want a perfect storage of money that can also be a currency that you can move around as an institution or move around as a citizen, you would want it to be closed. That we know for sure the design is implemented that it is 21 million, period. That's the code. There is no, you can't have, a board that gets together and says, no, we need 30 million. No, it's not possible. It's 21 million and that's it. Closed loop. It's perfect. If gold goes to 4,000, you better believe miners are going to ramp up production of gold. If gold goes to 10,000, you better believe they're going to be trying to shoot rocket ships up there to try to mine asteroids if it's up that high. So that's the real situation that we're in right now. There is not a finite supply of gold, and they are not eating it away like they are with silver and platinum and palladium. That's the issue. And that's why industrial metals are so much better than gold. And some people will make the argument that gold is an industrial metal, not even close to silver. Not even close. They're not putting gold in solar panels. They're not putting gold in the electric cars. They're not putting gold in these components. Maybe the fanciest of the fancy can have a gold-plated, something, but it's not going to be anywhere used as much as silver and platinum and palladium in industry. That's where the miss was in this debate, was talking about industrial metals. And I wanted to go live and talk about it. And I know I used a clickbaity, I put Frank and Michael, in the title and stuff, but I hope that there's some useful information in this live stream for you, because I come from the precious metal space and I'm just a big silver bull. I'm a big platinum bull. I love palladium as well. And I want to get into rhodium, but I just can't wrap my head around how high up rhodium has gotten. And I've been studying it. I've been studying platinum and palladium and rhodium. So if you want a sneak preview, that's what I'm going to be talking about in the next videos coming out here on the channel. I've been studying quite a bit about those metals, and there's actually some very interesting aspects to it in the renewable energy space. And I think that's why palladium has been performing the way it has. There's actually some useful situations there in regards to fuel cells and stuff along those lines. And I want to learn more about that before I drop that video. But overall, the debate was epic. It was a fantastic debate. They did a great job talking with each other. The only thing that was a bit of a bummer is there wasn't any real leeway on either case. And what my arguments are, if I was involved in some way in that debate, if I was a moderator or something, I would be trying to bridge the gap. My ultimate goal is to, because the thing is, a diehard gold bug is very hard-headed. They're not going to give it up. You will never, ever, and I think it was a good choice by Michael Saylor to not debate Peter Schiff, because you're just not going to get through to him. None of your points are going to make any impact on his mindset. He's made up his mind. He has devoted himself to it. The only thing he can do is get his son into Bitcoin because he got it wrong, and he can get his son involved in it and help him out. Just kidding. Not really. Smart move, Peter. Smart move. Brilliant. You get to play both sides of the field that way if you go at it with your son publicly on Bitcoin. But really, you like both of them or something. But anyway, there has to be someone that helps bridge the gap, and really, silver is the bridge. It's silver. It's a monetary metal, and it's an industrial metal that's needed in the renewable energy sector, and it's needed just across the board in tech. So this is the bridge between crypto and the physical precious metals world, not gold. Gold, I want people to stop talking about. I want them to start talking about silver and Bitcoin. It's not silver or Bitcoin. It's silver and Bitcoin. The thing that I will still always go back to this point, that it is foolish to go all in Bitcoin, and it is equally foolish to have none of it. That's how I feel. And the how do you rewrite a monetary system? You have the largest institutions in the world accumulate that cryptocurrency, and then boom, you've rewritten it. If you have companies like Tesla accumulating Bitcoin, and I know they sold a little bit of it, I have a feeling they're going to be buying more Bitcoin. That's just my personal hunch on it. Maybe they bought more when it pulled back. You don't know until the next quarter, I believe. But if you have institutions like Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy and you have Tesla, holding Bitcoin, if that continues to go down that line, you have Grayscale that is basically essentially, the PSLV of Bitcoin. PSLV, you buy PSLV stock and they store your silver, right? You buy Grayscale and they store your Bitcoin. You have these services like BlockFi that is going to give loans against the Bitcoin. That's brilliant. I can't give these. I mean, in my space, yeah, I could find somebody to give me a collateralized loan against my silver bars probably, but I'm a little bit different than the average person. But the average person could, easily give their Bitcoin to BlockFi and then get a loan against it if they wanted capital but didn't want to sell their Bitcoin. That's a very brilliant aspect of Bitcoin. There's so many things where Bitcoin really gets it right. And if we have a perfect money in the world, that layer of money would be a digital money, because it's going digital whether we like it or not, and that money would be closed looped and finite, ultimately finite. Not if it goes up in value, the miner's going to kick up operations and start trying to mine more and more of it to satisfy the demand, and that's what would happen if gold went to 4,000, 5,000. The miners would kick up operations. I mean, if it goes up, to 50,000, let's say, then they'd be trying to think about getting to the asteroids. As crazy as that sounds, I mean, they'd be doing whatever they could to get to it. Overall, the debate was great. Awesome debate. They both of them did a fantastic job. I just wish that they got some sort of leeway in the bridge there, and there wasn't. Frank was very close-minded about it. Michael Saylor, made great points. But the problem was they were only talking about gold. Had they brought up silver, I think there would have been a bridge between the two. There would have been some real leeway gained between the two of them, and Frank would have been able to make a lot more valid points. But because it was only Bitcoin versus gold, I have to give it to Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor won it hands down, in my opinion. And also the brilliance of how he pulled out of the top of his head all of the dates and the times, things were conquered and the people that conquered the lands and it was related to gold. It was like, wow. I had to replay it in this video here. I hope that it came out okay when I put it in the mic. But that was brilliant. Between the two, and I know that Frank says he's a realist, but here's where the realism thing goes wrong. If you're a realist and you say, okay, well, we're going back to a gold standard and that's the only possible way, well, then you're not a realist, because history tells time and time again that doesn't work. The custodian steals the gold. So it's not really being a realist there. To be a visionary, you have to think about, how do you actually decentralize money? How do you actually create we the people of money again? How do you do it? The only way to do it is if you could store your money in the digital realm where nobody can take it from you. And then it was finite on a closed loop system. It's the only way. It's like anything other than that is like nails on a chalkboard to me, because it's true that is the future of money. So in a way, I hope Bitcoin succeeds. I agree with Michael Saylor that Bitcoin is hope. And if you go to hope.com, that's a shout out to Michael Saylor. He's got a lot of great information there on Bitcoin. That's pretty much all the things I wanted to talk about. In the debate of gold versus Bitcoin, it's such a simple way to counter it. There is no possible counter from the gold side on how we could digitize gold. There is no possible venue on how we could digitize gold. We trust a government. What happened last time? Nixon went and took it all. That's what happens if you trust the government to hold the gold and back the gold to a currency. That's what we had in the beginning. Ironically enough, the founding fathers of our country thought about this way ahead of time, which is why they had a gold standard. It's because they went, okay, well, if we let them just print away and do whatever they want, well, then we completely ruin the system here. We have to back the money to something. Okay, back it to gold and silver and write it in the Constitution to be so. Obviously, it only lasted for so long until history repeats itself and they ran off with the gold. Now, that's the only real argument you need to make. I mean, Peter Schiff has no counter to that. Frank has no counter to that. You cannot have digitized gold. Where are you going to trust? Perth Mint? Yeah, they've been real great lately. Fantastic. Perth Mint. Yeah, let's have them be the depository for that. Where are you going to trust? JP Morgan? Yeah, let's let them be the custodian. Fantastic. You have Brinks. They're going to be the custodian, not going to work. Okay, it's like Michael Saylor's argument that it causes, major battles, it causes bloodshed is accurate. It's accurate. Gold causes it causes theft. It causes, people forging it, putting tungsten in their gold, all of these different aspects to gold. It's correct. It's correct. And we'd be lying to ourselves if we don't agree with that. So really, if you choose to own physical gold that you have tested and you know it's pure, I believe it's a hedge against inflation, and I believe it will go up in value. I'm not opposed to gold. I think silver will vastly outperform it. And I think silver is wildly overvalued and actually used and eaten up by industry, and will be continued to be eaten up in industry. And if more people continue to hold the silver while industry needs the metal, that's a very interesting scenario that would never happen to gold. That's how I feel about it. And it trust me, coming from the precious metal space, it's not, if there's one thing that can prove to my audience that I want to remain, true to my videos here, and that's why I shoot them in one take. That's why I don't do any editing, is I want to be authentic. And if there's one thing to prove that, it's being in the precious metal space and saying gold is not as good as Bitcoin. I mean, that's about as real as I can get. I can make money off selling gold, and I think that Bitcoin is the superior asset, because it actually, gold could not rewrite the monetary system in a way that benefits the people. Bitcoin can. And if I am going to choose a physical metal, I'm going to choose silver. So that's that. That's how I feel about it. I think I've rambled a lot about this. Let's get to some questions. I want to talk with some of you guys. I didn't miss any of those super chats, right? I really appreciate that from the plumber guy earlier. That was cool. Let me get some comments here. You read. Guys think of Bitcoin like accepting yen. It's just another form of currency, regardless if you only trade in USD. I agree, Zilla. What about mining Bitcoin? Actually, in my last video talking about Tesla, I think Tesla is the ultimate. It's almost, Elon Musk is just too creative. You see that last interview Elon Musk came out with? He had an interview where he's in a mullet and bare feet sitting there being interviewed, and you're like, this is the best billionaire ever. Like, if this was a simulation, this is the coolest billionaire of all time. He literally made himself have a mullet. He got a fade on his sideburns, like kind of like my hair, but he has a mullet. Elon Musk has a mullet, and he's sitting there barefoot with a mullet, like he's just chilling and doing this interview with this guy. It's like most epic billionaire of all time. If I was a billionaire, I would for sure do it like Elon Musk. It's like, this is awesome. You know that recent video that's all over YouTube? I made a comment in that video. I was hoping it was going to be upvoted a lot, because it's true. It's like, Elon, you see this $500 million house? All the people in Tesla, we'd be cool. We'd be cool if you sold your Tesla positions, or just only a small sliver of your Tesla position, to buy that $500 million house, because that is the Tony Stark house of, California. So if you wanted a Tony Stark house, put a helipad there and everything. There's that $500 million house. It's like bouncing all over YouTube. I think Graham Stephan made a reaction video. It's from producer Michael, I think, dropped it. Like, Elon, you looking at that? You looking at that, bro? Because that's perfect. It's perfect. That's the Tony Stark house. Go ahead and grab it. Grab your mullet, grab that Tony Stark house, and walk around barefoot. Throw parties there. Go ahead, Elon. That's your spot. I can't put what I was talking about, though, is I can't put a nail down on Elon's thought process or Tesla's thought process, other than proving the liquidity of Bitcoin by making that sale, proving that they can convert it to their shareholders when they want. They took a very large profit. You got to remember, Tesla got in on Bitcoin at 34,000, I believe, roughly in that range. So they're up quite a bit on their Bitcoin position. They probably sold it over 60,000 when they made that sale, and they only sold a 10% position. So they have more Bitcoin than they bought in the beginning of it, I believe. So I mean, I think it's just a strategy of theirs so that they do risk mitigation, because their stock did sell off when they first bought Bitcoin. And Peter Schiff, of course, was all over that and probably really giving him some heat on that. And so they wanted to show their shareholders, yeah, we're being smart with the money. I know it's a risky play to buy Bitcoin, because 1.5 billion in Bitcoin is more than they've made off of their cars ever. So it's quite a bit of money that they have in Bitcoin. And that's all just from scooping up the money from their shareholders and secondaries. But I don't know what Elon Musk's next move is, but I believe that if there was one person on the entire planet, one person, there's only really one, that would be the ultimate cheerleader for Bitcoin, and it's Elon Musk. And why is that? Because there's 3 problems that he can address. The first problem, what if energy goes down? Well, who's the king of renewable energy? Who makes battery packs? Who has solar panels? Who has electric cars? Your electric car is connected to the second problem, which is what if the internet goes down? He just deployed a bunch of Starlinks, did he not? And he's continuing to put as many Starlinks as he can up there, which is going to decentralize the internet. You can't really take down the satellites. If you just put a bunch of satellites up there, now you have decentralized internet, right? So you have cars that are connected to their own Wi-Fi, connected to their own satellites that have their own source of energy in the battery pack that's stored there. So energy can't go down if you have a car that has energy in it. It can't go down if you have batteries in your garage. It can't go down if you have solar panels connected to your roof. So he bridges all of the problems with SpaceX. He solves the problem with the internet, and with his renewable energy in Tesla, he solves the problem with energy going down. Those are the 2 largest problems. Now, the third problem would be the mining operations. He can create mining operations. They say, okay, well, and this was another thing that Frank brought up is, Bitcoin has more pollution to the energy grid than anything, right? No, gold has more pollution to the energy grid, Frank. Quite a bit more. There's quite a bit more damage from mining gold than there is from mining Bitcoin, because Bitcoin actually has the potential to be fully renewable, whereas gold doesn't. You need excavators, you need all of these things. So there's actually quite a bit of pollution in the gold space. Bitcoin, on the other hand, it could be renewable. You could Tesla specifically could create their own central banks, or not decentralized banks, I guess. They could create their own mining operations that are completely off the grid and renewable. Very interesting to think about it that way. So yeah, Elon Musk is the ultimate cheerleader, and maybe he wants a little less eyeballs on him on Bitcoin. Maybe he wants the headlines to say that he sold Bitcoin. Maybe he wants that. We don't know how much Bitcoin. You know how much? There is rumors that Elon Musk has like $5 billion worth of Bitcoin with SpaceX, which is a private company, and he doesn't have to disclose what SpaceX holds. So he's got a lot of, the guy's got aces. He's got his, I think there's only 4 aces in the deck, but Elon Musk somehow has like 20 aces up his sleeves. So you got to watch out. He'll just pull an ace out and another ace and another ace. The guy can just pull aces out of everywhere. So you never bet against Elon Musk, and honestly, he could be selling the Bitcoin a little bit with Tesla to get the eyeballs off him, but he secretly has a ton of Bitcoin himself. You got to remember, Elon Musk has like 30% of Tesla. Tesla's valued at over $700 billion, $720 billion valuation. The guy holds almost 30% of the shares. Filthy rich. Filthy rich. You can't tell me that Elon Musk himself could do so many things to accumulate Bitcoin, more than the balance sheet that Tesla even has. Elon Musk himself could leverage his Tesla position to being a $100 billion position in Bitcoin if he wanted to. He could own, one person on the planet, Elon Musk, could hold 10% of all Bitcoin. Him. So I wouldn't really egg him on, and he's probably the guy that would want less eyeballs on him. He's like, "Is you guys telling me that my stock is worth how much? Okay, what do I do here? Should I rewrite the entire monetary system, or should I send rockets to Mars, or both? Or should I buy that Tony Stark house for $500 million in California?" These are some very complex questions that Elon Musk probably has bouncing around his mind. I would have a mullet and be walking around barefoot myself if I was him. That's what I would be doing. So I don't blame him. But I missed these live streams. How was the live stream quality on this one? Because we're at about 45 minutes now, and I usually do these live streams for around 30 minutes to an hour. I hope that the new software, this is the first live stream actually since I got everything all dialed in. So, or is it, might be the second one. But I just wanted to make sure that the live stream is good. I updated the whole keys and made sure that it was done appropriately. I'm directly connected to the Ethernet now. Everything is dialed in. People are saying flip the hourglass. I can't, guys, it's 11:30 already. I can't keep doing this to myself. My biggest problem is that I stay up so late at night. I get inspired at the worst times. And then I want to be able to get up at 4:30. And I think it's because all the gyms are shut down. If the gym was open, that was my like saving grace, where I would go into the sauna and get myself woken up, and I'd take a cold shower at the gym and like work out, get my blood moving, and I could get my day started at like 4:35. And that's, if you want a trick, I always want to do these Monday motivation things, and I keep forgetting. But honestly, if you can get up early in the morning and do something to get your blood moving, and then take a cold shower to kind of, it's better than 20 espressos. You get your body just moving right. And I've been so off track on that. I'm eating so late at night, which I shouldn't be doing. I haven't even eaten yet today, so I got to go home and make sure I get some food in me. And I can't be up till midnight every night. But I appreciate you guys all being here. And let's get to a few more questions here. And if you have not smashed the like button, would really appreciate you smashing the like button, because maybe Michael Saylor ends up seeing this. You never know. Let me grab to remind you, please hit that like button. Get those likes up if you believe in some of the content. If you believe in this getting out to more people, hitting that like button really helps, and it helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I really, really appreciate that. And I have been doing some upgrades to the set over here. I don't know, you can't see it because there's some silver bars in the way, but I got my maglev light bulb over there, which I think was very suiting with the new Tesla poster. A lot of people were saying, get Einstein out of there and put Tesla up, and you know what? I agree. Tesla was the better man, and he didn't get the credit he deserved. And I'm happy that Elon Musk calls the company Tesla. But you also got to remember, Elon Musk idolizes Edison. He's been asked about that. He's like, I like Edison as well. And he likes Edison because he's a businessman. Don't let Elon fool you into thinking, oh, this is just such a nice guy. He's such a nice guy. No, Elon is a savage. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. That guy is not somebody you want to bet against. He will literally, just to prove everybody wrong, will sleep on, as a billionaire, will sleep on the roof of his warehouse and not take showers and just keep working 24/7. That's who you're messing with here. You know, don't poke the guy. Whoever's out there is not the guy to poke. He's just not the guy. But yeah, I am a much bigger fan of this one, although it has a little bit of reflectivity going on in there. But the floating light bulb and the Tesla poster is a new thing, and he just keeps going. I agree, Dennis. He does. He just keeps going. Look at Bitcoin's price. Oh, what, is Bitcoin going up during this? Let me see. Let's do a little update on Bitcoin's price. Wow, actually, you're right. Bitcoin is up to almost 55,000 right now as we're making this video. But the thing I would love to be able to do is, if I was to talk to Michael Saylor, I might be the first guy in the precious metals industry, just to, you know, we're getting towards the end of this live stream. And if more people upvote this video, if more people share my videos, people have to be sharing the videos, because my channel just went over 20,000 subscribers. So everybody in the live stream right now, I know it's late at night, so that's probably why a lot of us are sleeping right now, but I will post this video later for everybody to watch this as well. And please do watch that video. I just made back-to-back videos, by the way. I made the Tesla video right prior to this, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, you know, I want to go live and talk about this debate too, because I watched the debate probably 3 full times all the way through, and then gone back a couple times and like went to certain parts of it. It was a great debate. It's just there's all the same information kind of regurgitated, and then it didn't get anywhere between the two guys. Michael Saylor still is not going to be in gold, and Frank is still not going to be in Bitcoin. It just is what it is. And Michael Saylor is correct, in my opinion. But if somebody had brought up silver, I think you would have gotten Michael Saylor to budge a bit. Go, hey, would it make sense, Michael, to have a bit, if you need to have some tangibles, wouldn't it make sense to go into the physical precious metals that is a monetary metal? It is considered the only monetary metal with gold. Those are the two monetary metals, gold and silver. And silver is used in the mining operations and in all the tech sector and in all the solar panels for renewable energy. Wouldn't it make sense to have a bit of both? Don't they kind of bridge the gap? And why didn't they talk about that? And that's what I would love the opportunity to talk about with Michael Saylor. So as my channel continues to grow and we get the message out to more people share my content and get this channel growing, that's my goal, is to be able to talk with guys like Michael Saylor. Maybe if I put it in the universe, something can happen. I really do believe in the laws of attraction, specifically if you make movements in that direction and you cause a little bit of momentum to happen. And momentum is a very incredible thing. Momentum will get you a YouTube channel over 10,000, over 20,000. Over 20,000 is where we're at. It's just mind-boggling to me in less than a year. That's what momentum can do. And you watching this video are the reason this channel has had as much momentum as it has. And all I can do is just continue to work. You know, I put a lot of money in this new setup, so our streams are good, and I just want to keep making as much content as possible. I'm a one-man show, by the way. I don't have an editing team. I don't have a person that taught me how to do this. I learned how to do lighting. I learned how to do this streaming setup, learned how to use this software and everything. It's self-taught stuff, so it's a slow learning curve, but once I get it down, we will continue to make a ton of content on this channel. And my ultimate goal is to be able to interview guys like Michael Saylor in the future. That's my goal. And I hope that I'm able to bridge the gap between precious metals and collectibles and cryptocurrency. And I'm going to do everything in my power to spread awareness towards decentralized assets. And I consider silver a decentralized asset. I consider Bitcoin a decentralized asset. I consider collectibles a decentralized asset. Anything that you can that stores your capital outside of the fiat currency world. And you want to know something crazy? This is something I want to end this video on. I don't consider gold a decentralized asset. I don't consider it a decentralized asset because the central banks have it. The whole reason to say decentralized is so that you say the banks don't have it. Central banks, according to Frank as well, are gobbling up gold and have been for a very long time. They have the gold, a lot more than us. A lot more than us. So if we're just getting in the gold game to decentralize money, it's better. It's slightly better than fiat, slightly better, but it is not decentralized. Silver is decentralized in my opinion because they do not have nearly as much silver as they do gold. That's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope that it helps some people. I really do. And coming from the precious metals industry, it's pretty hard to talk, say Bitcoin's better than gold. It's a pretty this statement from somebody big in precious metals. But I wanted to pull some of my collection out. This is not items that I'm looking to buy and sell. I've owned these for this is a crazy story, actually. This is a 1951 New York assay bar that I owned for like 3 years, right? This one came last year in 2020, and it is the sequential serial number from the exact same year. So these bars literally spent their entire lifetime apart, but they someone redeemed their silver certificates at the same time and got both these bars. They got separated somehow and then came back together 2 years apart in my collection. I just am known as the guy that likes rare bullion. And so this one came to me like 3 years ago. And then I was able to get this one 2 years later. That is literally the sequential serial number. 5-1 here, and this one's 5-2. I have pictures of these on my Instagram. If you want to go to my Instagram, @RobSultan, if you scroll down a little bit, there's pictures of these bars in more detail. Really cool eagle hallmarks, just super, super cool bars. And I wanted to pull these out to show you that this is my genuine collection. When I talk about being big in silver, I pull out 2,000 ounces. This is actually more than, this one's 1,061 and this one is 1,036. So there's quite a bit of silver here on the table. So I just want you to know I really do put my money where my mouth is. I even have a bit of gold here as well. So open invitation to Michael. Michael, I would be the only precious metals guy. If Michael Saylor, if you somehow watch this video by the grace of the universe, the only precious metals guy out there that would actually fully embrace Bitcoin is me right now. I don't know of another one on YouTube or out there that, if you're tired of getting into headbutting matches with the Peter Schiffs and the Frank Giustras and all of them, you know, maybe give me an interview, because I'd love to interview you on the channel, and that is an open invitation. I'm a small YouTube channel, and if you want to get a interview going, I would love to do that. You'll be doing me much more of a service than yourself, but it might be pleasant to actually talk to somebody in precious metals that is also a Bitcoin maximalist. Thank you everybody so much to be here in the live stream and being part of this channel. I really, really appreciate it. I mean, this crazy things have happened. We talked about, you know, with the Arcadia interview, we were able to get onto Arcadia's channel all because of my fellow silver squirrels here. So thank you guys all so much for being here. It's been a great live stream. Had a blast. Have a great rest of your evening. Going to be signing out. If you haven't watched the Tesla video I just dropped talking about how they sold a bit of their Bitcoin, I think it has a lot of insights there that might be worth your while. Please do not forget to smash that like button. Would really appreciate it if you smash the like button. It could really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to help share this content, so maybe we are able to do these high profile interviews in the future. That's my goal. The one promise I can make you is I'm all gas and no brakes. With this YouTube, I'm going to be the only thing that's going to happen with me is I'm going to be dropping more and more and more content. I have a streamlined setup now where it's just point and shoot. I even got this little Stream Deck thing over here where I just click a button now. So we're getting it all dialed in. Thank you all so much for being here. Everybody's saying flip the hourglass. I can't tonight, guys. It's almost midnight right now. Eventually I'll get on point and we'll start doing these live streams earlier, and I could do a much longer live stream. But I got to start going to bed at least before 3 a.m. You know, it would be beneficial to get to bed before 10 p.m. But 3 a.m. is about as far as I can push it at this point. And I still got to eat tonight. So thank you all so much. Like I said, if we're going to end it on that, all gas, no brakes on the channel, on the Rob Sultan channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Rob Sultan on Instagram. Shoot me a DM there if I missed out on some points that you wanted to bring up. Throw a comment down below if there are some points that you agree with or disagree with on the things that I said in this video. But all in all, silver squeeze and Bitcoin to the moon. Let's go. And that's not financial advice. That's just my personal opinion. Disclaimer. All right. Everybody have a great rest of your evening. And yes, silverback gorillas and silver squirrels, we come together and we will be able to make something happen here. That's how I feel about it. I think that is just a matter of time. And my fellow silver squirrels and my fellow silverback gorillas out there, we're doing some serious stuff here, and it's very interesting to do it. But again, I have to say, I get nervous. I have to say that disclaimer, not financial advice, could be completely wrong, infactual, possibly not true. Disclaimer. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. And yes, the next video, someone just posted a comment. The next video is going to be on palladium and platinum, the metals. It's very interesting, palladium, how much it's going up lately. Anyway, that's the video. Thank you so much for being here. Signing out. See you at the next video. Don't forget to smash that like button. We'd really appreciate it. All right. Have a great night, everybody.